Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and you guys know what time it is for. It's time for another news update. Apologies this video is going out late. I know that the other video was going out late as well, but I just haven't had the time, unfortunately, so I do apologize about that. But hopefully you guys still, value my insight and, well, not my insight because I don't really have much, I'm not Elrond obviously, but, my thoughts and my opinions, and let me know your opinions on it in the description below, or in the comments below I should say. But in this video, we talked about the new releases and the Rise of Angmar in the last video, which was awesome, so go check that out if you haven't already, because we have discussed everything about that. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the new edition, because there is a new edition coming for our Middle-earth strategy battle game. Very out of the blue. I did not expect this one little bit. I don't think really anyone really expected it at all. And there's really two things to go over here. And we will go over the article in a second, guys. So if you guys don't want to enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, like I said, when the article came out on Thursday, like I said, I was expecting the original, our monthly update to come out next week, because it's only been 3 weeks since the last one. But then again, the last update was 5 weeks from the other one, so it kind of balances out, I guess. But of course, I wasn't expecting a second article, because actually we've only been getting one a month, at the moment. So when it came out super late here. I think it came out at like 1 o'clock in the morning or something. So I was pretty much hardly sleeping because of the excitement from the first article. And then this drops, and obviously the internet exploded about a new edition coming for the Middle-earth strategy battle game, and more other things than that as well. I know a lot of people have already done a lot of content and live streams and podcasts and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoy my not my insight, but my opinions on it. So I hope it's kind of interesting to listen, but probably not. You guys probably are sick of listening to me. But anyway, let's get into the article, and we'll talk about it. Obviously, like, there's two parts in this. There's about the new edition. Of course, the second part is about the War of the Rohirrim tie-in. So we'll go over the article, and then we'll come back and have a chat about it. All right, so here we go, guys. It says the new edition of Middle-earth strategy battle game coming soon. And I've gone through a lot of Facebook posts and Instagram posts, that kind of stuff. So I've come up with a few comments coming from some of the developers as well. So we'll talk about that later. But like I said, we'll start with this one. So it says, we've seen a host of new reveals for the Middle-earth strategy battle game in the past few months, and of course on the day as well, in the run-up to the Rise of Angmar supplement. From the noble Knights of Arnor and the Doom King Eärnur, to the victorious Orc Scavenger Nazthrak. But if you thought that was the biggest news of the year, you ain't seen nothing yet. Today we can reveal that something special for Middle-earth strategy battle game is just around the corner. 6 years after the release of The Lord of the Rings, The Battle of the Pelennor Fields, a whole new edition of the game is galloping towards us, which is obviously a bit of a tie-in for the War of the Rohirrim, as we'll see later. But first of all, I do want to say, people, we're already going to get a bit sidetracked here, but of course people are it's basically split the community. Some people are excited about it, some people are not happy about it. Some people, like me, very optimistic, cautious but optimistic is my take on it. I'm going to just say it now. I'm cautious but optimistic. Of course, we don't like, what we as humans, a lot of us don't like change. We like, things to stay the way it is. But I'm gonna go on a rant here, guys. So just bear with me. I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get into it. So let's go a bit of a history into the game. So the Fellowship of the Ring supplement, the first ever rulebook, came out in December of 2001, or November of 2001, around the time of the Fellowship of the Ring coming out. That was the first edition of the game. The second edition, The Two Towers, came out a year after that, so it's a 1 year between those two editions. The Return of the King came out in 2003, so that was another year wait between those editions. And then the Big Blue Rulebook, obviously the one rulebook to rule them all, which didn't end up happening, that came out in 2005. So that was about a 2 year gap. Then there was a 7 year gap until 2012. That was until the Hobbit edition came out, so that was a 7 year gap. And then the new edition of the Middle-earth strategy battle game, when that dropped, that was in 2018, so that was a 6 year gap. And so another 6 year gap, it kind of does make sense. I honestly wasn't expecting it for at least, if it was happening, at least for like at least another 1 or 2 years, if they're going to be honest. I think the game's in a really good state at the moment. There's obviously, we'll go through this a little bit later, but there's a few things that, obviously could be tweaked, could be changed, and I think that they will be. But there's obviously a few things that need, that the community would like to be changed. So obviously some things that we want to stay the same. And I know a lot of people have been talking about the Battle of Osculia set that came out with the updated rules. That came out in 2022. So that's a 4-year gap between the two rule books. Obviously it's the same rule set. It's just the rule book that's got updated FAQs. And honestly, you didn't have to buy it. I'm just gonna put this out now. People saying that, we've only had 2 years between that rule book and the current, and like in the new one coming out. You didn't have to buy it. It was nothing wrong with it. There was you didn't have to buy the new rulebook. You had all the FAQs online. You don't have to buy it, and that's why I don't really understand that. That little thing going on there is because it wasn't anything new in there. It was just the FAQs, and that's what I really don't understand about this. I think what they're gonna do here is very similar. I know a lot of people are talking about, and I completely understand because I know, it's happened with 40k and Sigma. Obviously the 7th edition of 40k to 8th edition of 40k was a big difference. They completely changed the rule set. Same with, basically from 9th edition to 10th edition, there was a big change in that as well. Obviously with Age of Sigma, going from Fantasy to the Age of Sigma. And obviously I have to admit, there's been a bit of a downgrade in some of the game systems from GW lately. There's also been a bit of upgrades from the game systems of GW lately. There's a lot of good game systems that are coming out at the moment, like what I've heard. I haven't played them, but from what I've heard, there's been a few decent game systems on, that's been coming from GW as well, like Kill Team for one. I heard Warcry is pretty good as well as the Horus Heresy. So I've heard that, there's been pretty good rule sets, that are still very good rules writers at GW. They are a game company after all. They've been doing it for years, so of course they're going to, there's obviously a room for improvements there. But the game, our Middle-earth strategy, I think that's what people are really upset about. I think that's what people are really worried about, is that we're going to have a massive change in that kind of sense. I don't believe so. There's one post I've seen from Jay Clare, I think he's still the head rules writer from what I gather. He was the head rules writer, and I think he still is. That he said he wants to clarify and he never said rework, but he wants to. I'm paraphrasing here, guys. I can't remember what he said, but he said he wants to clarify and like tweak some things. So I don't think that implies that there's going to be a big change. There will be some changes, obviously. A few things that I was going to wait this until we read the entire article, but we may as well talk about it now as we're talking about it. That there's obviously a few things that could be changed. Obviously, one of the big changes that was from the Hobbit edition to the current edition was heroic tiers. There was a big change. There was also a big change to magic. A lot of things like that. Heroic actions, obviously, that was a big change as well. I expect to see a few more heroic actions, if I'm going to be honest. Possibly, who knows? I also see that the heroic actions might change, the current ones, because obviously no one really uses heroic challenge, and I think that could be that's a really thematic rule, but no one really uses it because there's not many good situations to use it. So I think that's one of the things that could be changed. Fight value, obviously, is another thing that could be changed. It says later on that every profile, or I think it does say, well, let's continue reading on first. So it's a very exciting time for fans of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. We can look forward to refreshed and updated rules for the game and the army. So it says refreshed. It doesn't say reworked. It doesn't say anything like that. I don't think the main mechanic of the game is going to change. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I do expect a few things to change, but not like Age of Sigma, where there's not going to be strength and there's not going to be defense. There's not going to be that kind of stuff, and it's only going to be like to hit rolls, to wound rolls, that kind of stuff. I don't expect that to happen. It's the same game. It's the same rules writers as there has been. The difference between 40k and Sigma and our game is that we are a specialist game studio. Our game comes from the specialist game studio, and from what rumors are, and rumors are lies, obviously, until Games Workshop prove them. But from what I've heard, from various people on the internet, from various YouTube channels, that do collab with GW and that kind of stuff, that the main heads of GW, that kind of stuff, don't really interact with the specialist game studio. Like, they kind of keep it their own thing. But they really do interact with Age of Sigmar and 40k. That's why you see these big changes, rules-wise, that kind of stuff. Now again, it could be wrong. I don't want to go off on anything like that. I don't intend imply that I know anything. Obviously I don't. But we're a specialist game studio, and we have the rules writers. We've had the same rules writers since. Like, this is the team. This is a lot of the team that we have. Is the team that brought the game back from the dead. If you guys remember, 7, 8 years ago, the game was dead. Like, there was nothing else coming out. And then, obviously, Jay Clare, I think he's still the head rules writer, like I said, came on board, with Adam Stroke, Gav, Keith, and Rob, as sculptors as well. Brought the game back from the dead, brought the game to what it is, and a much better game than what it is. Than what it was, I should say. The Hobbit edition was great. There was obviously flaws like there is in any game, but to be fair, the game that we know now, it hasn't really changed too much since 2001. The main rules mechanics, I should say. So I don't see that changing. And because it is a specialist game studio, obviously we're not as big as 40k, we're not as big as Age of Sigmar. I don't think that Games Workshop would want to change that. I don't see if they do, they're stupid, and I'm sorry for saying that. They're dumb if they're going to do it. Like I said, I don't think they're going to do it because we've got such a, not like a niche community, because there's like a lot of people who join the game at the moment, which is great. That's what we want. But obviously, they're not going to change it because they know they're going to piss the community off. They've seen what's happened. With the old world to Age of Sigmar, and some of this 40k, even 8th edition of 40k was great, but then you saw what happened in later editions, and seeing the lashback from that. I don't think they would do that for this game because, there's already not as many, they want, the reason they're doing this, and I'm going to talk about this later as well. This is going to be a long video, guys, so apologies. I'm just ranting right now. I've got to stop myself. But we don't have as many people, obviously, like I said, compared to Age of Sigmar and 40k. So they want to get, again, they're a company, they want to get as much money from us as they can. And I think they know that if they change the rule set so much that it's not the same game that we want, it's not the same game that we love, that they're going to lose people, and that's not what they want. And if they're doing this big investment into it, which it seems like they are, and that's another thing to go into, I don't think they would do it, because they know that they're going to lose people. They know that they're going to lose players. And like I said, because we are from the specialist game studio, we're not a main we're not a main Warhammer game. We're in the specialist game studio, like with Warcry and Underworlds, that kind of stuff. But it's great that they're having this new investment into the game, which is kind of out of the blue, to be honest. And I know people have been saying, we'll get onto this now. I've seen on YouTube recently, like a lot, even when this new edition came out, I think I said in the last video that I've seen clickbait titles about this being like, the last big hurrah for Middle Earth strategy battle game, like, it's the last big hurrah before the game dies. I don't see them bringing out a new edition, going into War of the Rohirrim, from what Rob has said, from Rob Alderman, who's the lead, the developer of the game. I don't know the actual, the product manager or something like that. He said he's been working it for about a year. So I don't think they're going to do this big investment into the game, redoing the edition, redoing the entire, all the profiles, if it was going to die, in the next few years. I think what they've done is, I believe this, and I think this is why we haven't had, much, news or anything like that, is that it seems like they have I'm just speculating here, guys, so don't take any of this for granted. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as well about all of this. Is that I think that obviously we know we're getting new Middle Earth films. We've got War of the Rohirrim, which is coming out, which is set in the Peter Jackson universe. We know this. We also have Hunt for Gollum coming out in 2026, and there's also another Lord of the Rings film we don't have a name for it yet. We don't know what it is. So it seems like that new line. I'm guessing they've had interviews, and the licensing might have changed because of that. And I think they're going to go into it. If they've done the War of the Rohirrim, I don't see why they wouldn't do Hunt for Gollum. I don't see why they wouldn't do this unspecified Lord of the Rings film. I think they've redone the licensing. And obviously that takes time. And I think that's part of the reason why we haven't heard of anything. My big thing was that is because a lot of the team, like Rob and all that, because he does Old World as well. I thought because Old World was coming back. Obviously, if they're going big into War of the Rohirrim, that's a line. That's all. There's obviously going to be entirely new models, entirely new characters that they have to sculpt. They have to make rules for. They're redoing the entire range with new profiles, not new profiles, but redone profiles. That takes time. I think people just think it just happens overnight, but it really doesn't. I've got a friend who's in the games industry at the moment, and they've it does take time, guys. I've seen from other companies, not just Games Workshop, but other companies that are not as big as Games Workshop. It takes time, and obviously, like I said, we're not a big priority for Games Workshop at the moment. But from this, it does seem that we are starting to get some some good investment from it. We are starting to get we're getting noticed by GW, which is great. It's what we want. We want more people to come into the game. We want the game to be more successful and that kind of stuff. So yeah, sorry about that rant, guys. We'll keep going with the article. So it says that there'll be a shiny new rules manual to go with the new edition, as well as new supplements for the armies of the Lord of the Rings and armies of the Hobbit. Again, I think that's why people are really upset, because it's been 6 years. If you can, 40k has, again, I'm going to go on a rant here, guys. 40k has a rule, basically a new edition every 3 years. They also have to buy different codexes for all your armies. So imagine if we're not like 40k. We don't have a new edition every 3 years. Every 6 years, that's fine. I want to support the game. If they bought stuff, I will buy it. It shows Games Workshop that it's the game worth investing in, and it looks like they are investing hard into it at the moment, which is great to see. And I think that we should show our appreciation by going into it, because it means that they're going to make more stuff, put more people on the team, make new models, make new supplements that we want to see, and continue our game for as long as we can. The movies have, it's been over 20 years, 23 years since the Fellowship of the Ring came out, and the game's going strong. At this point, it could be the best it's ever been with this new edition, with with the new investment from JW, which is really interesting to see. But again, that's just my opinion. So it says each of these will contain the rules for the miniatures from the respective movie trilogies. Every profile has been reworked so that units and characters' actions and on-screen presence are even better represented on the tabletop, and your adventures in Middle-earth feel exactly as they should. This is really cool. As you guys know, I'm a massive narrative player, so this is gold for me. I'm not a massive match play player. I don't have time to do match play games because I work weekends, so I don't really get to go to tournaments, unfortunately. I would love to, for the social side of it more than anything. But narrative is where I'm at, to be honest, and that's what I want to do. I want to make when we eventually, we are getting to battle reports on the channel very soon. I want to make them thematic. I want to make them narrative in some sort of way. So I hope you guys enjoy that when it does actually happen. But obviously we had some good reworks from the Hobbit edition to the new edition. At the moment, to the Middle Earth edition. Theoden was one of them. He got a big glow up, he got a big buff. Lurtz as well became a nice mid-level hero for Isengard. Obviously we had some good thematic special rules, like Legolas and Gimli's kill count. I expect more things like that, like the kill count for Legolas and Gimli. I expect more things like that for different heroes, for different combinations. Like I said, I think a lot of things could be reworked. Fate is another one I think should work. I hate when heroes have one fate. It really annoys me. Make them more expensive. Make the heroes more expensive and let them have 3 fates, or completely rework that. Make heroes have 5 might. That kind of stuff. Maybe that shouldn't be changed, but I think some of the heroic stuff that definitely could be changed to make them more as they are in the film. Because if they are acting as they are in the film, obviously this is a game focused mainly on the movies, the aesthetic at least. and you want to do what you do on the film. Like, you know, Legolas is a beast in the film, and I don't think the Megalith profile should come back, but that's something, you know, that could happen. You know, have Legolas have 3 attacks, please. New edition Legolas with 3 attacks, I would love it. Or a way for him to get to 3 attacks. Maybe if he's outnumbered, he gets to 3 attacks or something like that. That would make him a beast like he is in the film. Something along those lines. But yeah, I'm really happy about that. Again, narrative player, would love to see more of that. It says we'll have loads more to share in the coming weeks, so stay tuned into Warhammer community for the latest updates. Again, I've seen something on, it was either on their Facebook page or their Instagram page that said they'll be sharing more Rise of Angmar and the new edition. There'll be more news this month. So I'm assuming, like, you know, at the end of the month or something like that. There is the Nova Open this month at the end. I don't know what dates they are. I'm hoping there could be like a reveal show. There obviously will be a reveal show for Games Workshop. But if there's like a Middle-earth reveal in that could be cool. You know, we haven't had a reveal show for quite a while. You know, we don't get a lot of reveal shows. We don't get a lot of stuff revealed, that kind of stuff. But it could be cool. It's a good open stage to announce something. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be watching, so they probably want to spread this out and around. The thing about the War of the Rohirrim, though, is that I haven't seen a trailer yet. Is there a trailer yet? I'm not too sure. I haven't heard anything about it. I know what it's about. I've seen images and that kind of stuff, but it's August at the moment. Is it mid-August, or it's early August, early to mid-August at the moment. Comes out in early December, so I assume there would have been a trailer by now, but who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I'm definitely excited for that. And it says, what else down the future? What else does the future hold for Middle-earth? Well, we couldn't possibly speculate. And it says, The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. And Games Workshop or Warhammer posted out the title that you see on this video. It says, The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim strategy, Middle-earth strategy battle game. So there's obviously going to be a tie-in. I've been watching a few podcasts, been watching a few guys. Last Alliance of Nibs and Men, another Aussie channel, you know, a much better one than me, obviously. Liam and Sean over there. They've done a few things on there. They've done a few speculations, that kind of stuff. They've got some sources. You know, I'm not going to talk about that because they're not my sources, so I don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. I would like to speculate though. If they're going hard into War of the Rohirrim, I don't see why it wouldn't be a new starter set. It's risky, obviously, because it's a new film. It's an animated film at that. So I think that it's very risky to go on that route, because if the movie flops, hopefully it doesn't. I'm hoping it's going to be good. From reviews I've heard from, I think there was like the Cannes Film Festival where they showed like 20 minutes of it. That was really good reviews coming out from that. So I am hopeful for it. It's a Lord of the Rings film, so I'm going to watch it anyway. You know, I'm excited to watch a Lord of the Rings film in the cinema again. You know, after, when was Battle 5 Armies? 10 years ago. It's been 10 years since a Middle-earth film been watched in the cinema, so I'm definitely going to go watch it. And if it's good, I'll watch it so many times. But I think it's definitely a big gamble on Games Workshop doing the War of the Rohirrim if it's going to be they're going deep into it. I expected a new starter to maybe contain the Fellowship and Amon Hen, or something along those lines, something with iconic characters. But who knows? There's also been word about it being, like I said, the War of the Rohirrim, being a new starter set with plastic kits. If that seems to happen, if that's happening, this could be big, guys. This could be massive for the game. This could be what we've been waiting for. If they're gonna go into, if they've developed, like I said, Rob said they've been working with people from Japan, from America, and somewhere else. I forgot where else he said. For the past year on War of the Rohirrim, they're going hard into this. If they're making plastic kits for this could be big for the game, guys. This is what we've been waiting for new plastic troop kits, for new kits in general. Again, that could be amazing. That's a theory. There's also a rumor that's going around that's a plastic starter set with new plastic sculpts. Again, I would love it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below, because it would be the best thing ever, obviously, with the new plastic sculpts. And even if they are like early Rohirrim stuff, of course you can use them for Rohan armies. Of course you're going to be doing that. And I expect if it does happen, I think that could pave the way. I think it's probably the best word to use for future armies. Gondor, like, I expect the big ones to be, to happen first. If it does go down that route, if they're gonna do a big investment into the game like this, if it does become a success, I think this might be a prototype. I'm guessing they've done, if it is Plastic Troops, I'm gonna say this, if it is Plastic Troops, they've done prototypes and they're gonna check how it works with this. So it's just like, if it's a loss, it could be a big loss. But if it's hit and it works, like, and it doesn't happen like The Hobbit, because apparently The Hobbit didn't go very well. But if this works, and obviously The Lord of the Rings is better than The Hobbit. Again, The War of the Rohirrim, you got Rohan, which people love. You got, Dunlendings, which they're from the film, they're from the book, so people like that. But everyone loves Rohan. Everyone loves that, the scene. Obviously, it's not the right time because it's like, with Helm and all that. But everyone loves Rohan. Everyone has Rohan armies. I think everyone has at least a Rohan model, and everyone loves, the Rohan scenes in the films. So I think if they're gonna go big into it, and if it works, I think it could be massive for the game, guys. If it works and it's a big success, I could definitely see them doing this for future armies. Like, I expect the big ones to be done first, like, Rohan, Gondor, Isengard, Mordor, that kind of stuff. New Plastic Troops. If it does work, and if it is a success, I expect that to happen. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm very, very excited, cautiously optimistic about the new rules. I've already said it's far too much, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Apologies, this video is probably a bit long, but I think obviously there's a lot to say, and I've got future videos planned for this kind of stuff. We're gonna go going deep into this, guys. I'm very, very excited. I will be doing a video probably in a week or two, going over what we would like to see in the new edition, like what rules we'd like to change, what rules we'd like to stay the same. So comment below, what rules do you guys want to see? What change? What do you guys want to stay the same? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll shout you guys out on that video. I'll do a post out there at some point, and try and get your opinions on it so I can make a video on it. But to see what the community would like to see, I think that could be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think that's all I got to say, guys. I'm out of breath. It could be a great time to be a Lord of the Rings fan, guys. I'm very excited. The future's looking bright. And like I said, I have trust in the Middle-earth team. They've done well the last few years. They've done amazingly. Like I said, the game would be dead in the water if it wasn't for them. And again, Jay's been rules writing since the Middle-earth team started. So I have trust in him. I have faith in him. I don't think, unless Games Workshop had a massive hand into it, like I said, I don't think they do, because it's the Specialist Game Studio. I think that it's just going to be slight rules adjustments. Again, I'm going to go on a little bit tangent here, just a little one, guys, so don't worry. Buy new books. Again, 40k has codexes for each separate army. We're going to get a Lord of the Rings and a Hobbit one. If it was a 40k, if this was 40k, we'd have one for Rohan, we'd have one for Gondor, we'd have one for, Dale, we'd have one, we'd have separate codexes for each thing. Like, we had these books, the old Mordor book, which was just Mordor. We'd have things like this for each separate army. You'd have to buy separate books for each separate army. But no, they've condensed it into different trilogies. So they're obviously not making money. If they wanted to make money off us, which, obviously they're a company, they're allowed to, they need to. You don't have to buy it. They would be doing this. They'd be doing separate books for each army. So they're not doing that. They're not doing what 40k and Sigmar are doing, which is great. And like I said, I have faith in Middle-earth team. They've been doing well. They've been doing great so far. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, guys. I think we need to take a break for a couple of days and come back to it freshly in mind. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on the internet at the moment, and I'm just having a laugh at the moment because of how some idiotic it sounds, and people saying it's going to change. It's going to be like Age of Sigmar. It's going to be like 40k, where it's going to completely change the whole game's just going to explode, and something like that's going to happen. I don't believe it's going to happen. Again, like I said, Jay's been doing the rules for like the last few years. Last, was it 8 years now? I don't expect a big change up like that at all. I expect the core rules to stay the same, but I expect the special rules, that kind of stuff, possibly to be tweaked, and like the heroic tiers, you know, heroic actions to be tweaked, stuff like that. And like I said, the profiles and all that are going to be tweaked as well, which is cool. There is a theory out there that that models that don't have models yet, like, you know, profiles that don't have models yet, will be taken out. I don't know how I feel about that. Like the biggest case for this one, and I'm paraphrasing here because Liam and Sean said this on Last Alliance and Noobs and Men. I recommend you guys go watch them. They're a great channel. So shout out to you guys. You guys probably don't watch, but if you do, hello. That's you know, the Fountain Court Guard and Citadel Guard. Fountain Court Guard don't have shields in their profile, so apparently, you know, people just, you know, they put shields on them. They pay the points for it, which is, you know, I think was one of the things that came into with Middle Earth, because they didn't want to validate people's model collections, so that you could have a Citadel Guard, you could have it with a shield, but you have to pay the points for it. I think apparently with the new licensing, again, this is all rumors, this is all speculation. Apparently with the new licensing, that won't be a thing anymore. That if it doesn't happen in the films, and obviously there's a bit of a blurred line there with the Rise of Angmar supplement coming out, that's going to be a bit of a change. It's going to be a bit of a, you know, that they obviously don't happen in the film. You know, there's obviously, you know, Berta isn't part of the film, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think it's definitely a bit of a blurred line there. But apparently what's it called? Like the example, I should say. Sorry, my brain's all fuddled at the moment. The example is that a Fountain Court Guard doesn't have a shield in his profile, doesn't have a shield on the model, doesn't have a model with a shield, so he won't be able to take a shield in the new edition. That kind of stuff, which is interesting. Again, we'll have to wait and see. I think there's a lot of warmongering at the moment, a lot of you know, doom and gloom happening at the moment, which I don't think it should be. Again, our game is continuing; it's being reinvested in, and I think we have to be grateful for that. And, you know, obviously, if you don't like it, you know, I don't know what else to say. I really don't know what else to say. But I don't think it's as bad as people think. Like I said, people don't like change. I don't like change, but I'm cautiously optimistic. And yeah, I don't think there's any more to say, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Am I stupid? Am I dumb? Let me know what you guys like to see in the new edition. What would you guys like to come out? What new models would you like to see for War in the Rohirrim? You know, there's obviously a lot of things in there. A new helm, obviously, is going to be coming out. I don't know what's going to happen with the old helm because I love that model. I might have to pick it up before it possibly goes, because obviously it's not the right aesthetic. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and we'll do a video on it a little bit, like in a week or two. See what you guys would like to see in the new edition. But thank you guys so very much for watching. I'll get out of here. I've taken too much of your time already, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. And as always, happy gaming.